Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you're tuning in from. This is a BS Buddies podcast. I'm your host, Joe. That is your host, Ian. Today, we are going to talk about conspiracy theories about existence and just random existence theories, I guess, to put it that way. So, we'll be talking.
Existentialism.
Yeah, thank you. That's better than what I said. So we're gonna go into like a human NPC theory, color theory, and maybe a few others that we come up with at the top of our heads.
Are we living in the Matrix? Is the Matrix real? Are you real? Am I real? I don't. I just felt like being dramatic there for a second.
But that's kind of what we're talking about. If you're new, hit subscribe. We upload 2 videos every week and a short every day. Ian, would you like to start us off?
I will start us off, and I'm going to start us off with the color one that I mentioned to you before we started recording. So I'll start by saying that this whole topic was prompted by just clicking through some random topic generators, and one of the questions was, how did it phrase it? Do you believe everyone is a construct others than you? Or something along those lines. So terrible grammar notwithstanding, we started thinking about all of those fun little existential brain teasers that everyone talks about all the time. And one of my personal favorites is always the one that we could see color completely differently. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I already know some people are going to bring this up in the comments that due to the way light waves work and the spectrum and blah 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 and all that nonsense and how the mumbo jumbo of the science they can kind of prove that yeah we all see colors slightly. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about is do we see colors completely opposite of each other, but yet we've all learned them by the same name.
I will
So
explain, just so I can intervene a little bit. So, with the red on my hat or the red solo cup, my red could be Ian's orange. Ian's orange could be my blue, but we all call it the same.
we all learn it as the same color, right? Because I mean, you got to think growing up in and going to school and learning about the colors in kindergarten, right? You know, what are they? What is this flashcard? Yellow. What is this flashcard? Blue. So the world around you, right, as you perceive it, 100% normal to you because that's the way you've seen things ever since you were a young child and you've learned the names for all these colors. But the fun one could be is that somebody else could see the world in what you would consider photo negative. All of the colors are reversed. They're all completely different. It's like looking at a picture of undeveloped film. But to them, that's completely normal. They might see the sky as what you would call purple. But you both learn that the sky is blue. So what color is the sky? The sky is blue. And I think that one is just one of my favorite ones simply for the fact that like unless you could like actually take your eyeballs out and plug them into somebody else and look through their world, which horrifying example, I don't know why I went for that for the
Yeah,
mental
that was
image.
great. Great
Cybernetics,
visual.
man. We're making a callback to that cybernetics video, right? Maybe in the future we'll be able to do that. But I mean, unless you can actually look at the world through somebody else's vision, you'd never quite know if you're actually seeing things the exact same way. And
I,
have
I've,
you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
was just going to say, I've always heard of this theory, and it kind of blows my mind. And I also want to say, like, when you brought up, people are going to say with the light waves and stuff, well,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That's the first time I've ever heard of that. And also, like Ian said as well, if you're about to write a comment down below, again, I'd like to say this is the BS Buddies podcast. We don't like to think too much in depth.
BS our way through all of this.
Yes. I'm wearing a Chucky hat. Do you think that
You think
anything
I?
I'm about
You
to
think I?
say it has some weight to it?
No
Or
thoughts, head empty. I go through the whole day just wind whistling through my ears like a tunnel.
But yeah,
Mike didn't
my
pick that
my
up.
blue is your gray. So
Although I do bring this up. I do. It's just fun to say. I do bring up the light wave thing because here is why I mention that specifically is because there is a color that exists but technically does not exist because your brain isn't sure what to perceive it as, and that color is magenta. Have you heard of this?
I think I don't think it's magenta itself, but yes, it's like a shade of like a purple that
It's that purpley pink mix at here. This the top of this little building in my background. That is magenta. That like hot pink. And even though you can see this color, right? This is definitely a color. You're like, okay, yeah, that's like a purplish pink. Clearly that exists. Technically, according to the light wave spectrum, it shouldn't exist. What you are seeing here is what your brain is telling you is not green. Because what happens is we know the light wave spectrum. Red is on, I think, the low end, and then it goes up through all the colors, and then it hits like purplish on the high end, and then eventually it loops back around because that's how the light wave frequencies work, and yada da da da. Magenta, and I'll say this, exactly in the middle of the light wave spectrum is green. That is the midtones. That is the cones in your eyes are seeing an equal mash of red, maybe it's blue, whatever it is on the high
we're
end.
not
They're seeing,
scientists.
yeah, they're seeing an equal amount of both of those colors at the same time. And how your brain processes color is it just takes a random handful of the light photons reflecting off that surface, and it goes, okay, I know that these photons are supposed to make the color red, and it's activating the red cones in your eyes. And okay, that one's activating the blue cones. And when both of those activate together, I should be seeing green. Magenta technically falls on that midpoint. However, its light wavelength is different from green. It's not quite the same. I don't, like I said, I don't know the science
Hmm.
behind it because I'm not a scientist. But your brain knows that, well, wait a minute. The cones, the blue and the red cones in the eyes are activating at the same time. I should be seeing green, but this is not green. So what color is this? And so your brain just goes, screw it, new color, magenta, pink. That's a color. And so even though magenta doesn't exist on the light wave spectrum, your brain is going, we are seeing not green. That color is not green. You're like, well, what's the color now? I don't know, but it's not green. So you're seeing not green. You're like, well, thanks. That's helpful. And so that's why I bring up the light wave color thing is because, yeah, technically we could see every color is completely different from each other, and that's just a fun little story that I like to attach to that one as proof that we all see the colors differently.
So, I have
my
nothing to
rant is
add.
over.
I have nothing to
Go
add. Do
go
we
for
want to
it,
move on
Joe.
to the next one?
I think we can
I,
move on to the next. My
I
my rant is over. My non-scientific scientific rant is over.
Ian before recording. Man, it's been a long week. I'm exhausted. Ian while recording. Let me talk to you about magenta.
We literally just popped into my head when we started talking about this, and I was like, I can't not bring this up because it's cool. It fascinates me so that our mind is like, I don't know what it is. It's not green. Next.
And speaking of next, I want to talk about this because I think it's a very interesting topic. And I don't know how exactly smart people word it, but I think of it in video game terms as human NPCs, which
The
I feel like I
NPC
know
me.
one, honestly. Uh,
It's me. It's me.
it's definitely not you. Uh, so, kind of what Ian referred to towards the beginning, what got us thinking about this is everyone that you see is fake. Like you are the only real person, and everyone else is NPCs. And if you don't know what NPC is, it's non-playable character in video games. It's just kind of a placeholder person that you can talk
It's
to, or
all a construct in your mind. We are not real. We are figments of your imagination talking to you through your screen right now.
You have a very
You
active imagination if this is what you're imagining right now.
Hey there, you on the other side of the screen. Can you maybe dream up a reality where I didn't clock my knee on the door when I was delivering the other day so my hip doesn't hurt so bad? Because it's killing me right now, man. Come on. Why would you do this to me? You did this. You caused me pain.
I mean, let's not berate the wonderful viewers who support us so
Well, if we're
graciously.
constructs in their mind, then they're constructed my hip to hit the constructed door and cause me pain in my hip. Constructedly.
Any, anyways, uh, I've thought of this before, and I thought of it just a little bit of a step further. So we'll just say main character versus NPC. It's easier for my brain to understand. So there's, and I've thought of this, and it's like I don't want to say I believe in it. I feel like if I thought about it enough, I would with any of this stuff. But I feel like there could be a certain number of like main characters in the world, and everyone else is NPCs, but you don't know who the main characters are. So there's just like only like 100 people in the world who actually are the main characters, and the rest are just like filler people that you know.
Maybe we can go with the anime protagonist theory. Main characters are always the people with the wild hairdos with the crazy
Yes,
color.
kind of like that.
Just oh, standing in a crowd. I wonder who the main character could be. Oh, maybe it's that guy with spiky hair, 6 feet long, colored red. I bet it's him. He seems like somebody who might be doing something.
But the thing is, you don't know who anyone is, and it's like you figure it out once everyone figures out who all the main characters are in the world. Like, get a group together and fix the planet.
And go start conquering countries. I think my
I
my
wasn't gonna go
biggest
that far, but you know that works too.
well, hey, if the rest of them are NPCs. I think my biggest confirmation, I guess we could call it, of this theory is just simply for the fact that it's amazing to me how many people run on autopilot throughout their daily lives, and I'm guilty of this too. I've definitely, but there's been times where I've just been zonked out of my mind, like the player character controlling me stepped away, let me go AFK, and I was just wandering, just doing stuff, and then I snap back to reality, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I walk into this room? What was I doing? What's going on? You know, it's kind of like coming back to the controller after an hour and the camera's like slowly panning around your character and then you finally move it and you're like, what was I doing in this building again? But my biggest confirmation is with that when you see people who you know are clearly zonked out, and I've seen memes of this and they always make me laugh, is that if you walk into something with enough confidence and enough belief that you are correct in doing something, you can make people go along with anything. Like my favorite one is some guy, he's like walking down the street and he's taking a video. I'm not advocating for this, by the way. I'm just saying it's hilarious. And he's talking about, oh, people are NPCs. You can even do anything. Watch this. And he just walks into a random building and he's like, hey, yeah, is Tyler here? And somebody's like, no, he stepped out back for a few minutes. And he's like, oh, good. Yeah, let him know his dog ran away last week, caught my fish on the leash outside by the fire hydrant. I'll get it back to him on Thursday. He won't even miss the mail, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And he just grabs a handful of pens and walks out the door. And everyone in the room, they were like, they were just kind of like, oh, yeah, 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 that's right. That's funny. They just rolled right with it. Nobody questioned him why his sentence didn't make any sense. Why did he take a handful of pens off the counter? Like if you
I
have enough confidence going into it, you can get away with just about anything because so many people run on autopilot. It's funny.
I want to say that I feel like at the job I worked at last, I feel like I worked with a human NPC. Like, no, joke, and my one of my best buddies who watches this is for him because we work at the same place together at the time. And this dude, whenever he walked into the room, like he always said the same lines, pretty much every single day. He never knew what was going on, it seemed like, just kind of did his own thing, and then you talk to him and it's just the weirdest conversations you've ever had. But yeah, every time he would see me, he would start singing Cotton Eye Joe every single day, just
It's a
around
proxy.
the corner.
It's a
It's
proxy trigger. As soon as he gets close, he just starts singing. He doesn't know why.
like he does. He did it a lot, just with with random songs too. Like he would come into the room singing, he would leave the room singing a different song
Oh man, they
every
programmed
single
him with
time.
different songs. That's pretty cool. That's some high tier programming. They gave him different songs to sing.
Pretty sure Celine Dion made an appearance a
Oh
time
yeah.
or two.
Well, I don't know how they got the copyrights for Celine Dion, but fantastic, man. I'm really
As
glad that he was able
as like a 5'5" middle aged man.
But
But
hey, he's got it right there. I think. Well, and the fun thing with that is like, have you ever looked up videos of like NPC dialogue in real life? Have you ever watched those videos on YouTube?
I've seen videos where like people act like NPCs and like
Those ones are
those are funny.
definitely good. I love those, but I'm talking about like it's videos of people being NPCs in real life, completely unscripted. Like just to end on this note because that's what this made me think of when you talked about your coworker who's saying is one of my favorites is a video of a guy who was like biking through Central Park in like downtown New York, and he's got like a GoPro on, and he like stops for a rest for a little bit, and and you can hear the Oblivion music. Somebody like edited in the Oblivion music in the background, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. We got this building here. It's pretty great." And this was at the time when like COVID just started and everyone was like buying up all the toilet paper. And this dude walking by in the background, you can hear him go, "People think the world's ending and they're buying toilet paper by the thousands. I guess they think they're gonna shit themselves to death," and just wanders off.
Uh, speaking of, I don't know if this is NPC work, but it was interesting. I went to Walmart the other week, and this is just kind of on that realm of just hearing someone buy, and it's like, what the heck did you just say?
She's like, "What are you talking about?
Uh,
What prompted you to say that?"
she was on the phone, speaker as well.
Oh
Sounded
no.
like it was her
Okay.
son, and just talking. And she's like, I'm just looking for a fan. And she's like, are they feeding you well in prison? So like he's like, yeah, we get eggs like once a month. And then she's like, I hope you're getting milk or something. And he's like, yep, every day. And she walked away.
Just
Still on the
hang
phone.
up.
I'm like, I need a break from whoever that was.
Are they feeding you? Are they feeding you well in prison? That's when you should have just walked up and like blank stared right through her and been like, "They're putting all kinds of things in sandwiches these days. You should try it out sometime." And then just like turned and strolled away. Oh,
We should do that in person sometime when we're together.
just walk around. I have a GoPro. We could definitely pull that off. We just get a couple of them little like fuzzy mics that
Lavalier mic, I
la-
think is what they're called.
that's what they're called. That's a very fancy name for. I just call them fuzzy mics because they're fuzzy.
Yeah. Um, I have a separate theory that's existence related, but if you have one before me, go for it.
Um, I mean, I was just gonna go with the whole standard. I mean, this has been beat into the ground since this movie series came out, but the whole Matrix computer simulation one. I know a lot of people talk about that one. And it's been around for quite a while. Like I said, since the movies came out, and I think that one is the much more far-fetched. Is like, oh, what if we live in a computer simulation? Because I mean, like, we've seen computers, right? We've seen even some of the most advanced computers in the world are capable of extremely big screw ups where just everything breaks and nothing goes the way they wanted it to in the programming. And I think this world is just way too big and complex for any computer to run it. Like, you need a computer like the size of the sun to run this thing efficiently. And even then, you'd still see some pretty weird stuff happening. So I think the Matrix idea is definitely far fetched, but it is always fun to imagine. Like, if you found like a like, imagine you peeled back your drywall and you just saw like source code running down the thing like that. Matrix together. You'd be like, that doesn't seem correct. But then, at
I'm
that
the
point you might
only
as well
main character. Yes.
I'm gonna plug a keyboard in and I'm gonna put in that old GTA cheat code. A rocket launcher. Oh boy.
Infinite money glitch.
Oh man, I've always wanted a dirt bike. Spawn it, walk outside. Come on, man, where's my dirt bike? Oh, it's floating 20 feet in the air. That doesn't help me. Just
Oh,
that'd be pretty awesome if you could input cheat codes in real life.
I
Then
need a
you
few
pull
of
up
those
my
right
phone.
now.
Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I need a tank, and then like one drives up down the street.
Oh. Did you have anything more to add with the Matrix theory?
To add to my Matrix theory, no, I really didn't. I mean, there's a lot of different facets to it, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory as far as living in a computer simulation and all of that. And that one's been beat into the ground enough times that I don't think I need to spend a whole lot expanding upon it. But I mean, like, if you have some interesting Matrix theories, please share them with us, their audience. If you have any confirmations or what what's the
If you want
opposite
to
of
argue with us about this, that's cool. If you have some other theories, I'd love
denial
to hear.
or affirmation? The blue pill or the red pill? Tell us your theories on the Matrix. Sick reference. It's actually kind of cool because my camera has a blue light and a red light on each side of it.
And you
I didn't
have the
realize.
red cape hanging off one side and the blue shirt on one side of your shirt.
Oh my god, it's real! No, this isn't how I wanted to find out.
Mid-app, who we find out the Matrix is real. I got one theory that I thought of years ago, and I have never shared this with anyone, even my fiance, mostly because I just always forget it. Do I believe this theory exists? No, but I think it's kind of cool to think about in a way. So every mythology, so you got Greek, Norse, Egyptian, then I mean the modern day religions like Christianity, Buddhism, all of those, every god from those exists. They're all real. I don't believe this. I do not believe this. I want to say that. Mom and dad, calm down, chill, stop typing. Uh, anyways, theory. They all exist, but they all like live in peace enough to not deal with each other. Like, hey, we got our followers, you guys got yours, whatever. But they all exist. Yeah.
Simultaneously.
Yes.
They all exist. I've thought about that one before too. Like the whole like what if your faith determines your afterlife and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I
Like
think I
whatever.
think essentially would be like an expansion of Pascal's wager. I think that would be. I don't know if that would fall into that purview, but I've thought about that one before. That would be an interesting one
But
to
it
think of. Like, what if they're all correct?
but it's like in Christianity, like you either go to heaven or hell, and then like you believe in Norse, you could go to Valhalla. And
there's a lot of different options going on there. That's definitely a concept of thought, and I wonder how many people around the world believe in that as a whole, right? Like it's just out of curiosity of a thought. I'm not one way or the other on it, but yeah, that's definitely an interesting thought to have on it.
I mean, there is people that I don't know if this should count or these two religions should count. I think it should be religions that have been talked about or mythologies that have been talked about for thousands of years.
Vetted and
Not
had a
like
following.
Jediism because
If you
Star
believe,
Wars came out
if you
or
believe in the flying,
Scientology because that's a scam.
if you believe in the flying spaghetti monster, you become a you go to the giant meatball in the sky after you die.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, I guess.
Well, I guess expanding on that then, like just going into the way bigger is like the multiverse theory. Should we posit that as our final question of the hour and make a few comments on that? Is do you think that there are multiple parallel universes and they can be so distinctly similar as to be like out there could be a parallel universe where literally everything in history up to this point has happened exactly the same way, except the pencil on my desk is rotated 180 degrees so that the pencil lead is pointing at the computer instead of the eraser, right? And then they could be so vastly different as like everything is different, the scope of technology and everything. Do you think that the multiverse theory like that could be real?
Oof. Um, I I think that would make for a good just full length episode, really diving into it. But right now, I'm unsure, mostly because I don't want to think about it because it scares me. If I'm
That's
being
fair.
honest, but I think if you guys want us to go into um like a
Multiverses.
multiverse theory, let us know in the comments down below and we could hash it out. Create some different universes.
Multiverse theory as made popular by Marvel movies in the last decade.
Multiverses, the video game that just had its
I
full release recently.
I remember seeing a little bit about that game. Honestly, did look a little fun, but I'm very bad with battle, not royales. But
Fighting games.
yeah,
Yep, same.
fighting games in the style of like what would you call it? Super Smash?
Platform.
Yeah, like Super Smash Brothers
Yeah,
style. Yeah,
Smash
very
Bros.
very bad with those.
I'm bad with all fighting games.
Currently, pretending to try and be good at The Witcher 3 because it was on sale right now. I got it for $12 and never played a Witcher game before in my life. Going poorly.
I'm pretending to think I'm great at Elden Ring. I just beat my first major boss and ready to
I
keep
value my
going.
sanity.
Hey, it only took me about 40 tries to beat that one guy.
I don't have a controller that can last 40 tries, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a controller that can last 40 tries.
Oh, I just punched my leg. It's probably not
I
the
need.
smartest choice. Anyways, I think we should go to quotes before my fiance hears that I've been hurting myself while playing Elden Ring.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which I'll start because this is a perfect quote for what I just said. Choose to be optimistic. It feels better. The Dalai Lama.
Ah, it feels better. I like that. That's a fun one. I have. Ooh, ooh. Never mind. I'm changing mine. Last minute. Never answer a critic unless he's right. that. Oh, I like that one. That one makes it sound like anytime you answer a critic, then you're gonna be called out. Ah,
Or,
he was right. Ah, you mad?
or the
Just-
famous PewDiePie quote that I just forgot. Oh, every, like, it's okay that you have an opinion, even though it's effing wrong. Everyone has an opinion, even though they're effing wrong. Or however the quote goes. It's one of my favorite quotes. But that pretty much wraps up the episode. Hope you guys enjoy. If you want to become a bud today, hit subscribe. And hit the like button. I kind of forgot the outro. Like my brain is still in the multiverse.
It's in the
thing.
multiverse. We're in the universe where this is the outro.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let us know some of your thoughts on some of our existentialism crises that we have presented for you today, and let us know your own thoughts on them, or present us with some of your own. We always like to hear more ideas that we can yap about on this show. I'm using the slang that the kids are using. Bro is yapping.
Yeah, Debbie was talking about aura and Riz today. So
I don't.
But we'll see you next time when we talk about the multiverse, probably, if that's what you guys want us to do.
But until then, take her easy now. Be in the universe where you take it easy.
As you travel through the multiverse.